Hello and welcome to a very special another edition. It's semi-final Arn and Eddie Euro Experience Day.
Woo!
Woo! My name is Eddie Cyburn. Joining me is in his lovely Parma top.
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
it's
look at
so
look at
beautiful.
look at
Um,
this.
Arn Furious, it gives me great joy, like the result that we just saw. Arn, how you doing? You all right?
I'm doing very well. That was a very good game of football.
Yes, it was very good, and that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about Italy versus Spain.
I
Spain.
think there's a few people out there who thought Spain were just going to get rolled over here. Those people have probably not watched Spain play in this tournament because the
Mm,
entire tournament doesn't matter who they've come up against. They've controlled the ball, they've
yeah.
controlled possession, and they did that again here. And I could make a very solid argument, I think, for Spain having the best midfield in this tournament, with the
Yeah.
three being Busquets, sort of breaking stuff up, Koke and Pedri with the runs and the passing and everything. They've been so good at times, and they dominated the ball here, especially in the first half. Italy really struggled to get into it.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at I know stats don't mean always everything, but if you look at the stats, Spain with about 71% possession compared to Italy's 29%. Um, it's kind of
That's
a
not the stat that
no-brainer.
I've got. No, that's extra time, mate. So
Oh, extra time injured.
over the entire match, 65-35.
Okay. So then
And
overall,
extra time, it was 71.
71 to 29.
Yeah.
Spain with 16 shots, Italy with 7. Um, it looked kind of edgy for the beginning bits. As you said, Spain kind of overran. I don't think their chances just didn't go to plan. Obviously, Emerson had a good chance for Italy.
This has been the story of Spain in this tournament, though. I mean, you look, if you ignore the two games where they scored 5 goals because they don't
Mm,
fit my narrative, the the way that they've played has been controlling possession, being very creative and very talented until the penalty area arrived, and then it was they just couldn't finish the dinner, and it was kind of that way again for them today. Oyazabal had a couple of fantastic chances,
hmm
and obviously you just said Emerson as well for
Italy.
Italy. There were chances at both ends in this game.
How badly do you feel that Italy missed out with no Spinazzola? Because there were points where it did look like they were desperately missing a character like him.
I mean, Rob said he thinks they look beatable, Italy. There's certainly a weakness there. Emerson is no Spinazzola. He's not the same player. He's not played hardly any first team football for the past year and a half, Emerson.
Hmm
Um, that said, he did kind of slot into that sort of bombing forward wing back position, and it did work sometimes. So they were able to kind of play their normal way, but at the same time, Spinazzola is a better player, so it was kind of they kind of did okay playing that way, but it wasn't as effective as it could have been if Spinazzola was fit.
Yes, Rob saying Italy have been look so beatable. That's why. What is it now? 33 games
It's been a
unbeaten.
while without losing.
If you look at the record, Southend have had 5 managers since Italy last fell behind in a game of football. Yeah. The and
I
then
know what you
obviously.
say. I know what you're saying though, because look, the chances that Spain were able to carve out in this game,
Mm,
you get a decent forward player on the end of half of those, and it's a big win.
yeah. I think
Who
Domi is.
beat them last?
Oh, of course. Who else could it be but Portugal? That side, they got knocked out
And
midway through.
Don't want to change Wembley Stadium to the Stadio Internazionale
Enrico
Enrico
Federico
Federico Chiesa.
Chiesa. He was that goal. Ever since
Oh,
he's
what a
kind
goal!
of ever since he's came on the bench from the Austria game, he's kind of stamped a place in this squad. He's not, and I think you even said it. It looked like he didn't want to be substituted at all
Well,
until
I
obviously
think
it
he
had
knew
to
he was
happen.
going to get substituted, so he scored, so he didn't have to come off. But the great thing about this Italian team, you look at the half chances in this tournament where they've scored absolutely fantastic goals, and there's been loads of them. Chiesa's had a couple. Insigne has had a couple. They score goals out of nothing, and the three keys for Italy, if they're going to win the final, one of them is score a ridiculous goal,
Yeah.
which I think is likely to happen. The other two are defend properly, which they were kind of in and out of that today. But then you look at the Spanish midfield, are England or Denmark going to be able to replicate that? Not convinced. And the third one is they're going to have to cheat, which I'm sure they'll have no problems with that.
I mean, there was parts of Italy, but okay.
I think the end of that is missing, but
we'll get that in a bit. As I say, I think Domi's just made a good
yeah,
point there.
that is a very strong point. The Italian team is a team. They feel like 26 mates trying to win a tournament for their country. I completely buy into that. That's the way that they've been all the way through this tournament. I keep saying they keep bringing players in, and it's like they take a player out, bring a new one in, and the team is just as good as it was because it's a team, and they have that team mentality. I mean, bringing Emerson in today is kind of a prime example of that. They might not have been quite as good, but they didn't lose anything because of the way that they've been playing as a team unit.
Yeah. I mean, if we look into and I can see obviously Rob's comment in terms of that, I do get what Rob is saying. I mean, just because they've only beaten Belgium once, they've still beaten Belgium technically. I mean, I get where you're coming from, but like, it's like, oh, they've only beaten this team once, but they've still beaten them. So,
well, they've beaten everyone that's been put in front of them. Domi's saying I've clicked on the wrong one. The moment they sing the national anthem, you've lost.
Yeah. I mean, the anthem is there.
It's stunning, isn't it?
It's the way they shout out and they belt out with passion, and then you've got the likes of, look at how Chiellini was acting.
Chiellini today, he's loving it, isn't he? Like, this guy's career should be over. Like, he had I can't even remember what muscle it was he tore when it was one of the knee ones when he was like 35.
Yeah, that
should be career over at least at this level. And he's out there laughing and joking, and just before the penalty shootout with the coin toss, he's having a fantastic time.
You would be surprised.
Who else is like that?
You would be surprised if he's like grabbing Alba by the head and just kind of giving him a wedge and
give him a little bit of a playful punch to the jaw. Who is this guy? I love him.
It's just the way, like, obviously, because the whole Suarez thing happened, and then you think, okay, there we go. He's the man who got bitten, and then, him and Bonucci in that defense, just because obviously they play with each other at club level and at international level, it just brings so much to this team. Yes, there is still what's the word? Play acting. There's still play acting happening. A word you were going to try and say last time we were on, Arn, but couldn't say. There is still that, but they're there, and they're as I say, they're all together. They're all belting out the anthem. They're all holding. They looked so calm going into the penalty show, whereas Spain were just like trying to like.
Spain were trying to G themselves up because they were worried about it. What they shouldn't have done was give Alvaro Morata one of the penalties. I don't fancy Morata. I just don't. Not in that way, but So Ivan McGann said he felt bad for Olmo missing. I thought Olmo was brilliant today. I thought Danny Olmo was absolutely outstanding, and I've seen him play quite a bit. I've seen all of his time in this tournament, and he wasn't anywhere near this good in the other games. He was absolutely sensational today, and if Spain had won this game, it would have been because of Danny Olmo.
Yeah.
That said, he did have a really good chance to score that I think he probably should have buried. And there were a few of those. Donnarumma had a good game. Defensively, Italy, they threw people in the way a lot last gasp defending. So.
There were certain bits where there was like a very what's the word I'm looking for? Very iffy moments with Donnarumma. But yeah, they all came together. Again, I think Emerson being in there instead of Spinazzola is going to be a bit of a difficult thing. I say you need that kind of spirit. Chiesa, I think, definitely starts in the final. But it's like, I say if Chiesa, they've got, if Chiesa's injured, you get
Well,
Bernadeschi.
yeah, you look at the players that they brought on: Berardi, Bernadeschi, Locatelli came off the bench, Pessina, Belotti. They all played their role. Toloi as well. They all played their role in this win, and that's what they're doing.
Yeah. And as I say, in terms of that, Italy just looked, and again, yes, we are, we do like Italy. We're not gonna lie. I think as they have, I've had them since the preview to win.
Yeah,
I was so confident in just how well a machine oiled they look on a well-oiled machine they looked.
I was always concerned about the plan B because it didn't seem like there was one, but they have developed a solid plan B, which is to go back to classic Italian. What's the word I'm looking for?
Playhouse City.
And
yes, 2-1 up against Belgium. What's the first thing to do? Oh my leg! Oh my leg! I need to stay down for a bit.
That was before the first goal. So yeah, they went to that a little bit early in that game. They didn't do it as much today. They played really well, but they looked tired towards the end.
Oh, yeah, Chiesa
this is
in his lag as well. You could see it. You could see obviously. They've played 130 minutes of international football. They had a blow of a break. So
I think you look at so England and Denmark. They'll have watched this game and thought it's going to be tough, but if either one of those teams, and I'm not saying England, it's either one of those teams can win in 90 minutes, they have an excellent opportunity because that Italian team was run hard, chasing after the ball for like 65% of this game, and it was for 120 minutes.
Domi states until he has no star this tournament. You have named him already and said that Wembley should be named after him. I think Chiesa quite now is probably going to be their star, or is becoming their star of the tournament. With just how well,
I get what he's saying though, because like you could take any of those players out of the team, I think, and they've got somebody else who could slot in and do a job. The one player I think they struggled a little bit when he wasn't on the pitch was Chiellini.
Yeah,
I think Chiellini gives them something else, and it's an intangible. It's one of those things where they miss like his leadership and his experience. And I think you saw him laughing and joking before the shootout. He kind of takes the edge off of because he's been there, he's done that. He knows everything. So like it kind of seemed to calm the other players down just having him there.
I mean, if you're talking about the fact that he's at Fiorentina, Chiesa, even though he's at Juventus, then yes, he technically is the star player at Fiorentina. But I get where you're coming from. Yes, there is no real World Cup. Well, is there a real class player there like Pirlo in that Italy squad? Could you name? Would you see any of that team and think, right, world class? Insigne maybe. I mean, that might just be me, and again, that might just be how I'm feeling.
I don't know. To be honest, I think he's got a point.
Rob's
agreeing. Italy are good. You have to play well to beat them. They are beatable, especially if you can hang in there and extend the game. I think whoever wins tomorrow, if they win in 90 minutes, they do have an advantage. Obviously, being allowed to make 6 substitutions if it goes to extra time helps a lot. So that Italy made a lot of substitutions today, so that some of these players are not as run into the ground as they could be. But Bonucci, Chiellini, Di Lorenzo, Jorginho, they all played 90 minutes.
Oh, can we just
120 minutes. So.
We've not even talked about it. Can we just talk about Jorginho? Jorginho in that penalty.
Disgusting that was. I really liked Thiago's penalty because he literally gave it I'm going to side foot it. I'm looking at where I'm going to side foot it to, and then just dink in the other corner. It's really well executed. He didn't do anything else in the game, so you might as well give him props for that.
I think I put in our group chat that Morata missing would have been the most Morata thing to happen, and then Morata missed the penalty.
Painful. I just saw him walking up to him like this.
He
is in Spain without the S and with the S as well.
Yes. And as Gary Lineker said, well, they're on the plane back home to Spain. So we move on tomorrow. It's a big game. Arn,
Oh, this was the big game. This was absolutely the big game.
It's a big game for you to get the Gary Lineker England shirt out. How are you feeling going
in? It's over there. I said this when we last recorded, whenever that was, that I think England has a better team. England has a better squad and a better starting 11 than Denmark.
Mm-hmm.
And if these things went that way, where the better team wins, they should win. But then France should have beaten Switzerland, and they didn't.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to look at the intangible with Denmark, which is Christian Eriksen factor. This is another team that has been together, and they've had that sense of togetherness. I'm not saying England don't have that, but Denmark's has been amplified by the situation they found themselves in. And they're going to be really hard to beat.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be hard on sleeves tomorrow, and it's going to be a tough game.
Yeah. Oh,
not sure who that is. I hope Denmark silence England.
Hello, genuine article, if that is your real name. I think England may just have enough to see out Denmark. That's just my own opinion. My heart wants Denmark. No doubt I would want Denmark to win, because I think it is not only a great story, I think they have come from losing 2 games to, being quite, another cohesive unit in terms of that. So yeah, I would like Denmark to win. I think
that's
England
went wrong, isn't it, Rob?
To be fair, France did beat Switzerland in the mains.
Yeah, well, when that Pogba goal went in, they thought it was done, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
Dominic's suggesting it's going to be a 90th minute Martin Brathwaite winner, which I'm sure Barcelona will be happy with, because they can actually sell him for some money then, because they need it.
I would love to talk about that. But yeah, we will be back tomorrow to talk about England versus Denmark. I'll just ask Arn again. Prediction: do you think this goes the full 90 minutes, or do you feel it goes beyond the 90 minutes?
I think it'll be over in 90. I think England wins, but it's going to be tight. So I'm saying 1-0.
Okay, 1-0. I'm going to go 2-1 England. I think England will have enough. I'd love to see Denmark. I think it'll be Denmark. In any other news, Barcelona will need to sell 200 million in wage, because they can't register all the players, all the new shiny toys that they bought.
Well, they didn't even spend any money on the players. They just got them on freeze, and they still can't register them. And they can't get Messi to sign a new contract because they've got no money. It's an astonishing circumstance that they've found themselves in. And I'm sure we'll have a chance to do an episode on it before the season starts, because, yeah.
I think we have to. They've sold a couple of players already. Junior Firpo has left.
I'm sure there will be developments before we get a chance to talk. So we'll probably do something on it before the season's like August time.
We'll do a full thing when we can take a final break from the Euros, because believe me, we will be taking a little bit of a break. If you're not done so already, please like and subscribe. Thank you very much for joining us. Yep, it's all down below. I think tomorrow's the last day of our Euro Fantasy League. So I need to have a wee look into that and keep an eye on it.
Yes. I don't know who's winning. I haven't looked at my team for like 2 rounds.
Big thing Rob said, surely 200 million is a mistake. Their overall budget bill is only like 230 million. I think Arn was doing the research on this, I think, slightly, or just looking through it.
Yeah, I don't know if 200 million was the cap. We'll find out. We'll talk about it when we have all the information.
In the group chat about stuff, but yeah. Right, I've been Arn. He's been Arn.
Hey, I'm
tired. Hi, Eddie. We'll be back tomorrow after the England-Denmark game. Take care. Bye-bye.